Hello, and it's lovely to see you, John. And so John Gwyn Jones, marvelous CEO of Fobisia. And of course, we were talking not that long ago in Bangkok at the Fobisia conference, weren't we? So that was great. A really great conference, by the way, really great conference. But first of all, do you want to just explain a bit about Fobisia? Because not everybody who is listening to this or watching this will know what Fobisia is. Of course, they should. But tell us about it.
Okay, thank you, Helen, and a pleasure to sit in on this interview with you. Fobisia, or Fobisia, two ways to pronounce it, stands for the Federation of British International Schools in Asia. And the federation initially was formed back in the late 80s by a small group of heads, of which I was one of the founding heads of the organization. And it's grown now to nearly 100 schools across 18 countries in Asia. And of course, all these schools are premier British international schools, which have been externally audited and accredited by inspectorates. And, our business is basically a membership organization that supports the networking, not just of heads anymore, but of whole school communities. Professional development or professional learning is now a big aspect of our work. And finally, we organize a huge amount of student activities.
Yes.
Similar to the BSME, British Schools Middle East, we're a regional organization.
Yes.
So that makes it easier for our member schools then to connect. In addition to our schools, we also have what we call affiliate members, and these are companies or organizations that service our schools, much needed services they provide, such as recruitment, tech, school resources, professional learning. So we have a huge amount of affiliate members. And then just recently, we've opened up individual members to heads that have left us, who want to stay in connection with Fobisia. And also, we've now extended to what we call Friends of Fobisia, which are schools outside our region that want to be connected with us for one reason or another. So it's grown beyond belief, really.
Yes.
And, as you are aware, Asia is the hotbed these days. That's where the growth is. So
Absolutely.
we're in the right place, anyway, put it like that. I hope that summarizes things well.
Totally. And there's that strong sense. It's really interesting listening to you. And of course, I do know, particularly, as you know, about the affiliates, because one of my hats is working with LSC Education, and it is a proud affiliate of Fobisia in terms of recruitment and leadership recruitment. And that's why I feel really privileged to come to the conferences. One of the things that you're saying there, and that I certainly have felt for a number of years, is that strong sense of community, of people who are connected, who know what real education is, and good, proper, strong education in a part of the world where that's not always taken for granted, and there are lots of different approaches to education. There's something really strong there. But you say about sort of being a hotbed. I mean, what of education? What should attract people? If people were thinking, should I go to Asia to a British international school, what would attract them, do you think? Because it's quite away from the UK. So what would you say?
You made an interesting comment there, because over the years, when people go and work internationally, there's this perception that you're out in the wilderness, and you've gone to a location where, you're in the jungle or you're in the deserts, and the quality is not there. And that's absolute nonsense.
Yes.
I'm so pleased at the moment that, British government, particularly the DFE, the Department for Business and Trade, they are now seeing the quality and the role of international education, right, in terms of being a product of the UK, because UK curriculum is the most popular curriculum internationally. Well, now that that's being recognized, I'm hoping that that will attract, teachers who are ambitious to develop their careers, to go internationally. And I hope that they then will embrace the opportunity to go overseas and explore this type of community. Now, in Asia, if you were to visit, it's interesting, Helen, if you were to visit any of our international schools, you would be blown away by the quality,
I know.
in terms of
Yeah.
facilities, resources, teaching and learning environment, procedures such as safeguarding, governance. And of course, they're all accredited. So they all have to achieve a certain standard. So, coming to work in these environments, whether it's in Asia or the Middle East or anywhere else around the world, do your homework. Look at the quality of the schools, because not all of them are accredited, and see for yourself the environment you're going in. Because, when I was ahead and I used to employ teachers, I would often say to them, hey, you've got no excuses here. Like in the UK, there are so many factors that make it challenging for teachers, such as lack of funding, local authorities, parents, communities where the school is based. So you've got lots of reasons that make it challenging to you to deliver on the teaching learning. In Asia, in our schools, you don't have those excuses. It's down to you, right? But having said that, then, the rewards are so immense, and the opportunities to develop your career. I left UK, Wales in 1986, and I was very fortunate. I was seconded for my 3-year contract in Hong Kong. Never went back.
Yes, yeah.
I'm still here. And, I've loved it because I've been able to do the job that I've been trained for and do it as best as I can. And all the other things that go with it. You go to Asia, and one of the attractions is the opportunity to celebrate the different cultures, right?
Absolutely. And learn.
Travel to different countries and explore this amazing part of the world. Now, when I was living in Wales, you just look at them on TV series or in books or whatever. To be actually in the rainforest is incredible. So that, I'm a big fan of international education. And if I was a young teacher, being ambitious, wanting to explore things, I couldn't recommend it highly enough.
Yes, yeah. When I was out just a few weeks ago, I went, well, again to Wellington College in Bangkok, which obviously has seen growing over the past few years. I mean, super school. Also went to the equally super Harrow in Bangkok as well, just to pop in and see John Standen there and as their head. And each time I go to places, I'm struck by the quality of the facilities, the resources, the teaching staff, and that blend that there is between the expectations of a really good British school and thinking about the culture. So this is about helping people, individuals in their own place to be able to grow and develop and contribute to the country. So that's something that, well, I mean, maybe you did get in Wales, I'm not sure, but you don't get in lots of parts of the UK, that sense of purpose.
Well, you're absolutely right. In some ways, it is totally opposite to your environment in the UK. And in other ways, it is similar, So in terms of the teaching and learning environment, in terms of the methods of teaching, in terms of innovation, in terms of technology, in terms of curriculum, it's no different to being in a school in UK. But in terms of the community and the environment, all our schools are what you would consider private schools because they're fee-paying schools. The expectations of the parents are very high. Yet again, the commitment to the best of British education is the same, right? There are challenges. As I said, the performance is therefore down to you. What I've enjoyed about working internationally, both as an employee and an employer, is it's contractual. So, it's very performance related. So, if you don't do a good job, then you're gone. Now, I don't think that's anything to fear. If anything, it's something to celebrate, because you get an opportunity to showcase what a great teacher you are. And if you do that, doors open, opportunities come in terms of leadership. And it's a great career, right? It's a great career. I remember the advice I had in my first international post was, hey, we work hard and we play harder. And I think that's a good advice. You've got to enjoy where you are. The biggest challenge perhaps for UK-based teachers in Asia is you're far away from home, right? And it's a 13-hour flight, so it's not as let's go for a weekend or something. That's not possible. Yet again, the amount of family and friends that I've had visiting us has been excellent. So lots of little perks. And again, you see the other thing, as you would know, Helen, when you work internationally, there are perks, there are benefits. You are well taken care of. It's not just a salary. You're provided with medical benefits. You're provided with accommodation. You're provided with flights.
Yes.
So all of a sudden, and that's quite different to, say, working in Europe. The Middle East and Asia are quite similar in taking care of your teachers.
Yes. Yeah.
And over the recent years, particularly COVID and post-COVID, we've developed a lot of community feeling in terms of well-being, not just of the students, but of our staff as well. So they're very caring environments because they want the best from you. And it's an opportunity for you then to shine. At the same time, enjoy being in a great part of the world. I worked in Laos, right? And, Laos, often people haven't heard of it. And I haven't worked so hard in my life. In an environment that's so challenging, being an underdeveloped country. But wow, do I look back at that experience and celebrate that? So sometimes, you won't get when I worked in Penang, I didn't have to sell Penang, tropical island. And, people said, yes, yes, yes. But, there are locations that are also equally attractive in a different way. And my advice to any teacher that wants to work internationally, do your homework, right? And take that leap of faith, don't be afraid, because you have so much to look forward to.
And it's suitable for people at all sorts of different stages of their career, isn't it? And people at different stages of their family life too. I mean, there are people who will come out with children, people who come out single, people who come out as couples. I mean, you must have seen a lot of that.
Yes. And, that is great. Schools look for that kind of balance. It's not just single teachers anymore. And even, with issues like diversity and equity, LGBT, we celebrate those now, whereas when I first went to Asia, it was such a different environment in that respect. And as you say, teaching couples, teachers with children of their own. And again, when I look at some of the schools where they've got that longevity in terms of their teaching community, retention of staff. And one of the attractions is, imagine I've got a child of my own, and that child is going to be brought up in an incredible school environment with all the facilities and resources and quality of teaching and learning. I couldn't wish for anything better. So there's those hidden benefits sometimes. So irrespective of what stage you are in your career or your life, really, explore it, because in my opinion, you won't regret it, because it's a great career, it's a great environment. You have a lot to look forward to.
And that feels like a beautiful place to stop. Thank you so much, John. This has been such a pleasure.
My pleasure, Helen. And, I hope that people listening this will get excited about exploring things, about working internationally, because it's a great career. It is. I've been internationally for 36 years, right? And have not one single regret, I don't come back to the UK at Christmas anymore. It's too cold. The days are too short. Summer, yes.
Yes. Well, thank you, John. Thank you.
My pleasure, Helen. Always great to talk to you, and doing a great job in terms of where you're working now with recruitment and supporting our schools. Marvelous.
Oh, it's a pleasure. We'll speak again.
Right.